We're excited to get on the road again and head down to beautiful Baltimore to play Johns Hopkins. One of our storied rivalries over the years, and we're both scrapping to get back to our glory days, and it's an incredibly important game for us. So we'll be well prepared, and hopefully we'll execute at a much higher level this week.
Questions?
Gary, you've mentioned when you discussed face-offs, John's seen a lot of really good face-off guys across the country, which is certainly true. But when you look at film and go over stuff with him, where is he struggling personally?
Lacrosse is a mental game as well as the physical, but all the decision making, how you play it, it all comes from the brain down, and he's just dealing, more mentally, getting his head right, so he's on the whistle and not thinking about it and worried about making mistakes or jumping early. So he's doing some work on, and I'm hoping he improves.
In terms of the violations, is there something mechanically with the rules, or is it anticipating whistles, anything specific?
All the refs do it differently, and it makes it different. But he's just got to understand that and deal with it, and have a plan be mentally prepared, and execute. And I think you'll see him get back in a groove, and he'll be fine.
You always talk about the next game is our biggest game.
Yeah.
But how important was it to get that win against Penn for the mental state of this team, not dropping 3 straight games?
I think it was huge. It was we didn't quite. We had a chance against Harvard. We didn't finish it. We had a bit of we get into a really good Princeton team that just showed us what hustle and hard work look like, and those two teams were teams that we ended their season the year before, and they brought that attitude, and we didn't match the intensity. So it kind of brought us into Penn, where we were a bit of a funk, and our guys stuck together, and they found a way to get it done, and that was huge. And we got to build off that. We're heading into spring break. I think it'll be a great time to do some team bonding. Really get work on our culture and work on our chemistry. And I think hopefully this spring break allows us to come together like it has in the past. When we get together as a group and get on the road and work on ourselves, we tend to come out a lot better. So I'm hoping that happens this week.
Do you think the win and the manner of how you guys won against Penn can sort of like give you guys momentum in terms of like what you were able to do in the last quarter and overtime?
We're resetting. Every week it's a new team. I think it's just, executing the game plan, like I've been saying all year. That's our focus, is to put a game plan in place, execute it, but we got to bring more energy, more enthusiasm, and more grit, I think, to that as well. And then I think we have the talent, we have the skill level, we just got to put it all together. I always say team beats talent all day long, and it does, and we got to be better at the team stuff.
I think it was Jimmy, might have been you, talked about like during the Penn game, like it was tough to get the bench up and like get the bench into it. Like, why do you think there was just sort of a lack of energy at the game?
It's just the way ebbs and flows go, and that game was tough. Things weren't going well for us, and it's hard to cheer and get excited when we're not making plays. It's just fundamentally difficult to do. And if you're doing it and you're still not making plays, it doesn't work for you. So it's got to be legitimate. We got to have real energy, real effort plays, and that'll get the bench going. That'll get everything going. So it takes people to make plays and create sparks to generate that energy.
I understand that you're playing top 20 teams every week, but what has changed offensively over these last couple of games that has caused the offense to kind of stall a little bit, and what needs to pick up?
Well, I think we've been really focused on this year on possessions and possessing the ball, and I think we've stepped away a little bit from what Syracuse lacrosse is known for, and that's transition and getting the ball up the field, creating odd man plays, and we just haven't been getting a lot of that. And we did in the turnaround against Penn. There, we talked about it, that we needed to get some transition, and sure enough, Billy comes down and scores a big transition goal for us. So, we were able to respond, and they were able to do what we asked, and we just need to build on that and find other ways to score other than 6-on-6.
Gary, what went into putting Tyler down at short stick defensive midi, and how do you think he's responding to that so far?
He's responded well. We just thought it would be a good move for us, and I thought he played very well against Penn, and you'll see him some more down there, as well as transitioning the ball. So I think it helps in some of the areas that we're trying to work on, and that is transition. And obviously if his transition's not there, then we're in our 6-on-6 game. But a guy like Tyler can play both ways, and we want to utilize that.
In terms of the Syracuse-Hopkins rivalry, just like what does this kind of rivalry mean, I guess, for Syracuse, and can you kind of play it?
I don't know if it's a huge game for us just because it's, we're 4-2, and it's a huge game against a similarly ranked opponent, and if you want to be there at the end, you gotta go out and compete and win some of these games. So, the rivalry, I always say Hopkins is a rival with multiple teams. They've been playing Maryland for 100 years and all of this stuff. So we're just one of those teams. It's a big game for us, but rivalries are Hopkins has a lot of them, and we're just one of them.
You obviously played Hopkins a lot in your career. What are kind of those best recollections you have against Hopkins, and how much do you share those with the team?
We talk a little bit about Hopkins, but every team was a opportunity, and Hopkins, it was. The coaches treated it a little bit different and tried to get us extra fired up, but we just wanted to win every game, so it didn't really matter.
What makes Hawkins so potent this year?
They're just very balanced. They got a balanced offense, solid defense, and they found ways to make plays, and their guys are making plays, and that's kind of the combination. So we got to limit their opportunities, and on the other side of it, we need to make plays. So that's going to be the opportunity that's in front of us. Go out there and make a bunch of plays, win a game.
Coach, overall, from 3 Ivy League games, how do you implement your biggest takeaways from those into the game this weekend?
Well, I think we've made some adjustments, like I said, with the transition factor, adding that back in, cleaning up some of the execution, and then, trying to bring the energy to the game. So, those are some of the areas that we've learned some things about ourselves that we're taking into this weekend, and hopefully you'll see a noticeable difference.
You're halfway through this marathon, kind of 6-game road trip. What have you learned about your team, and what more do you want to see from your team?
I think that's essentially what I just answered. Yeah. That we've learned you can't just play 6-on-6. You got to find other ways to score. You got to find the energy. You got to hold yourself and the teammates accountable to execute at a high level. All of that stuff, and we need to come together as a team.
Gary, we've seen some flipping at the third attack spot. Leo's been up and Finn's been up and down. Just how do you feel like that adjustment's been going and trying to settle that position down?
We've kind of been basing it on our opponents, and that's kind of been the game plan there. I think, we want to put the best group out there that combats the team we're playing. So we'll continue to do that, and hopefully we get it right. Thanks, guys.